Have you ever opened the fridge, stared into it, closed it, walked away, and then 5 minutes later, opened it again? As if something might have changed. As if in those 5 minutes, the fridge might have restocked itself. Maybe a lasagna has appeared. Maybe a cheesecake has arrived. Maybe the bit of cucumber you ignored earlier has somehow become more exciting. So today's random thought is this. Why do we open the fridge and just stare into it? Because we all do it. And we do it with such seriousness. We stand there like we're studying ancient evidence. Like the answer to life is somewhere between the milk and the slightly tired lettuce. And the weird thing is, most of the time, we're not even properly hungry. We're just checking. For what? Nobody knows. We check. The fridge stare is often a very specific moment. You open the door, the little light comes on, and suddenly you're reviewing your options. Like a judge on a low-budget cooking show. Cheese, maybe? Yogurt? Leftovers? The jar you bought once for a recipe you never made. It's still there. Still judging you. And you just stand there. Not moving. Not choosing. Just letting the cold air hit you in the face while your brain tries to decide whether it wants food, entertainment, comfort, or a different life. And then someone says, "What are you looking for?" And you say, "I don't know." Which is probably the most honest answer. Because you don't. You are not searching for a specific item. You are browsing. The fridge has become a physical version of scrolling. You're not looking for anything in particular. You're just hoping something catches your eyes. And sometimes you close the fridge with disappointment. Not because there was no food. There was food. But there was no food that felt right, which is very different. There might be eggs. There might be vegetables. There might be actual ingredients. But ingredients aren't snacks. Ingredients are chores wearing a disguise. What you really wanted was something effortless, something ready, something that says, "Don't worry, I require no chopping." And if nothing in the fridge says that, you close it. Then return minutes later, just in case the situation has improved. Which is ridiculous, but also somehow makes sense. I think part of it is that the fridge represents possibility. It's not just food, it's potential. You open the door and think, what could I have? Not necessarily, what do I need? And that's why we stare. We're not always checking the contents, we're checking our mood. Do I want something sweet? Something salty? Something cold? Something that feels like a meal but requires absolutely no effort. Something that fixes a feeling I haven't quite identified yet. Because sometimes the fridge stare is not about hunger. Sometimes it's boredom. Sometimes it's procrastination. And sometimes it's just a tiny break from whatever we're supposed to be doing. You get up from your laptop and you think, I'll just check the fridge. As if the fridge has updates. As if it might say, good news, a sandwich has arrived. And there is something oddly comforting about it. The fridge is always there, quietly humming, holding cheese, doing its best. You open it when you're hungry. You open it when you're bored. You open it when you're avoiding a task. You open it when you walk into the kitchen and forget why you went in there. And your brain goes, well, while we're here, fridge. It's not logical, but lots of human behavior isn't. We like rituals. We like small pauses. We like checking things. Phones, emails, cupboards, fridges, places where something might have changed, even though we know it almost definitely hasn't. The fridge there is just hope with a handle. So maybe that's why we do it. We're not always looking for food. We're looking for an answer. A snack-shaped answer. Something that says, yes, this is exactly what you wanted. And sometimes we find it. Bit of cheese, a cold drink, a leftover slice of pizza that suddenly looks heroic. And sometimes we don't. Sometimes we just stare at the same items, close the door and accept that the fridge has failed us until we check again later. Because you never know. Things might have changed. They won't have, but still. So be honest. Do you open the fridge even when you know exactly what's in there? And what are you secretly hoping to find? Please tell me I'm not the only one who checks the fridge like it's about to reveal breaking news. No judgment, and don't forget, let me know in the comments below.